Happy Halloween, everyone. And yeah, it's about time I talked about this movie after, I guess you could say 40 years after, or at least now 42 years after. Because now I'm talking about Halloween, and it feels appropriate to finally talk about this because it's already out on Blu ray, DVD, all that other shit. So, I get to finally talk about this movie. And, just to explain before we get into this, the timeline for Halloween is very convoluted and in some way can be a bit hellish to say. Because you have the original two films, then you have the Thorn series, and you have, I guess, from timeline consideration, Halloween, H2O, and Resurrection, then the Rob Zombie Halloween, and now Halloween 1978, the classic. And this film, 2018's Halloween. This is going to be confusing, but I'll try to simplify the whole story and how it fits in with this new timeline, which will feature, I'm assuming, Halloween Kills, which comes out in 2021, and then the last Halloween, or Halloween Ends. I don't know. I didn't get the full titles completely, but I'm going to try to explain at least this film, the 2018 version of Halloween, or in this case, Halloween 40 Years After, which is a nice title, actually. I actually like the ring of it. Why couldn't it be the subtitle? Who knows? But let's dive into Halloween. Now, to explain it, yes, it does pick up to where Halloween 1, the classic Halloween, ended. The shapes escaped. You don't see Donald Pleasance in this one, which is understandable. But you do see like paintings of Dr. Loomis and then like an impersonation sound of it. But this is actually a pretty good story for Halloween. So let's dive into it. So it starts off with Smith's Grove, and it's kind of interesting because you do see the ideology of Smith's Grove from the walking patients from the original to this very interesting asylum kind of style for the opening set. And it's basically two British reporters or podcasters. I don't know why they went with podcasting, but you know, we gotta appeal for the 21st century or some sort. Also, you've got The Shape, or Michael Myers again. Played by a lot of people. Well, actually, I think it was just played by Nick Castle and someone else, which did a great job. Once again. But this one, the shape is still the same shape. It is not all the Michael Myers we've seen from Halloween 2 on. But this Michael Myers feels a lot different. Or at least, it's the same Michael Myers we saw in the first film. It's not the Michael Myers we saw in the second film or the films after that. So we're seeing this shape in this weird checkerboard kind of thing, which is really cool. The dude pulls out the mask, which, number one, why the fuck did you bring out the mask again? Because you're dealing with evidence, and that's a no-no. Also, he pulls out the mask and every fucking patient in the asylum or this checkerboard kind of thing goes fucking haywall because they know that this is the mask of evil. Dr. Loomis says that he spent 8 years trying to reach him and another 7 keeping them locked up. And the dude's trying to demand words out of Michael Myers, which, why? What is the fascination of him saying anything? It's fucking Michael Myers. It's the shape. He's a killer with the devil's eyes. And then once he screams, say something, it cuts to the title sequence, which is the best title sequence, I would say. Uses the classic Halloween logo and the pumpkin. Kudos to John Carpenter's music once again, because this music was fan-fucking-tastic. Comparing it from the original 78 film to 2018. Fucking lovely. And seeing the pumpkin once again making a cameo, kind of doing like a reverse decaying pumpkin shot, which is beautiful. Like, oh, I could go on all day and saying that is the best title sequence ever in a horror film. But back to the story, they kind of picked up where the podcasters are like trying to find Laurie Strode, who in this film, once again, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, a fucking amazing performance. it still shows Laurie Strode with the scar on her shoulder, which I'll explain. But this Laurie Strode's a little bit different because it's not the Laurie Strode you see in the original film. This time, Laurie Strode's actually a badass. She doesn't take shit from anyone. And she also may be paranoid and also kind of an isolationist. Because when you see her, she's in this giant isolation bunker kind of place. It's like out in the woods in an isolated area, which, sketchy shit happens there. But they basically get an interview about her about the incidences of Halloween, which is, why the fuck would you do that? That's kind of like intruding on someone's business. And she basically just grabs the money and tells them, get the fuck out. And then we see her shooting a fucking gun. Like, yeah, this is a different Laurie Strode. This is a more stronger Laurie Strode. I mean, yeah, in the first film she did, like, all she did was stab Michael in the neck with a fucking sewing needle, poke him in the eye with a wire hanger, and then stab him in the neck or chest with his own knife. Yeah. But in this one, she's a little bit stronger. But we find out from this Laurie Strode, compared to all the other ones we've seen from, like, Halloween 2 and on, we find out that this Laurie Strode actually had a family. Or a family, lineage. Basically, she had a daughter, which got taken away, and then you have the granddaughter. Which, I would say, yeah, this is a pretty interesting cast of characters. So we have Laurie's daughter, and then Laurie's granddaughter. And right off the bat, when you get to this family, you kind of have that semblance of the original Halloween. You have, like, this group of family members, like, trying to enjoy Halloween. But the daughter of Laurie Strode is trying to overcome the past that she's been given. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. But we also have the granddaughter, which is a basic teenager, does all teenager shit. But then you start to notice that Laurie Strode is actually trying to see her granddaughter, not daughter, shit. And she gives the granddaughter the money for, I guess, college, I think? Yeah, college, I think. And then she kind of, like, goes to, like, the idea that the shape is still after her kind of thing. Because, after fucking dealing with Michael Myers, you do end up with some form of PTSD knowing that you've seen your friend slain on Halloween night. Ew. But we do get, like, some semblance that we have a new doctor known as Dr. Tremaine, I think, or Tremaine, who was Dr. Loomis's successor, though you'll see why I put that in quotes, because you're going to find out in this movie he's a pretty big asshole. So we kind of go step by step of how we do this. Then you get Jamie Lee Curtis waiting for Michael Myers to come out of Smith's Grove because they're about to transfer him to another mental hospital, which, if we already know with every Halloween film, especially the fourth one, that doesn't work. You don't transfer the shape to another freaking mental asylum, knowing his track record of escaping. However, actually we don't see how he escapes this time. So we actually do catch up with Laurie Strode going to this reunion of Strodes, or I guess the three generations of the Strodes, though she's drunk off her ass, which is, oh boy. Yeah, I forgot she's a drinker now. Oh boy, so yeah, we have mommy issues on top of grandmother issues upon a paranoid Laurie Strode. Okay, I get it. That works. And we do get some shit dialogue about, repressed memories and stuff, which is understandable. Then we get Michael Myers going on his usual killing spree, though we have to encounter Kid shooting Dr. Sartorius in the chest or something. And then the shape literally kills, like, a cop and a guy that's trying to get his kid to hunt, and then, of course, the kid, which is a nice resemblance to the car kill from the first film. But yeah, Michael's on the loose again, and this basically means he goes after the podcasters, gets his usual jumpsuit, And after killing the podcasters in a brutal fashion, like literally brutalizing fashion, oh, it makes my skin crawl thinking about it. We get to see the return of the Shape, where he pulls the mask out of this car and puts it over his face. Oh, get the lotion. It's the beautiful moment we wanted to see. It's the money shot, which is kind of in semblance to the picture on the friggin' marquees, which is pretty cool. It's like a really tainted version, and the mask has always been the best part. Halloween 1, we always knew it was the William Shatner mask, but the look for this one actually looks pretty nice. It's aged, it's withered a little bit, and it's almost like the 2017 Halloween mask, which is kind of weird, but at the same time, this one kind of returns to form. Though it almost looks like an elderly man kind of look, like an elderly version of William Shatner, which is, ooh, skin crawling there. Skin crawling. So yeah, Laurie knows that Michael's escaped and tries to get the Generation Strodes to go to her house. However, we go through a bunch of random killings, including a babysitter who's trying to babysit. Apparently Laurie's granddaughter's boyfriend. Oh god, this is gonna be a lot to talk about. She has a falling out with her boyfriend. The boyfriend basically dumps her. Boyfriend's or ex-boyfriend's friend tries to help in and get into the mix. And then we get a nice bit of comedy involving motion lights, which is probably the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like, explaining this would have to take an actual video, but once again, we cannot use video. We cannot use any footage from the movie because, YouTube doesn't think that's cool. So, I can't explain enough. You gotta go watch it. But we do see an awesome kill. So basically the Shape stalks Laurie's granddaughter, and then the whole thing goes basically like this. Laurie and the Strode daughter are going to the bunker, while I guess Sartain and another cop go after to find Laurie's granddaughter. They get to her, and they also get to the Shape. And you think they ran over Michael Myers, but it turns out Sartain is an asshole. And he stabs a cop. So yeah, this dude has a fascination that, hey, let's bring back an old idea and say Michael and Laurie are brother and sister. That's not the point of the story, dummy. So yeah, Sartain drives Michael and the granddaughter Strode to the bunker, which leads to a lot of shenanigans, which I would say the best two comedy cops. Then the Halloween 5 mess. Oh. Looks like Halloween 5 and 6 are going to have to be looked at, don't they? Yeah, we'll talk about those in the future. But we do get Sartain get his ass beaten by Michael, and of course we get the final battle between Laurie and Michael, or at least the first of many battles. The first of many battles, actually. So we get Michael. Actually, I think Michael kills a few people, including Sartain, which, oh god, brutal curb stomping, and the infamous head tilt kind of thing. Then yeah, basically it's a battle between Michael Myers and Laurie Strode, or in this case, Michael versus the Generational 3 Strode. Or 3 generations of Strode, so I don't know. But yeah, this movie follows the beats on how Laurie and Michael's fight actually pertains, and they even do shots from the original movie, like when Laurie's stabbed and falls off the house, Michael goes to look, and then Laurie's gone. You notice that the roles are reversed here. Instead of Michael stalking Laurie, you have Laurie stalking Michael. Ooh, just sends a chill down my back. So yeah, we have the granddaughter and daughter of the Laurie Strode actually together, and they decide to go through with a plan of trying to lure Michael Myers out there, and they do it. Michael's shot, and then of course you get the shot of Laurie just saying Happy Halloween, Michael, and it's like, oh god, it's resemblant to how Laurie had her first run-in with Michael Myers, and it's fucking beautiful. They lock him in the basement. They set the house on fire, which includes the paper mache of the old Myers house, which is beautiful. But we already know it's not over. The 3 generations of the Strode family escape via truck, and the movie ends on a cliffhanger, basically thinking, okay, Michael's still out there, and the 3 Strodes now have to fight Michael Myers. Oh boy, this makes Halloween Kills extremely, like, I am waiting for this film to come out. I mean, waiting. And yes, I will issue a spoiler warning because I should have done it in the beginning. But we're talking about motherfucking Halloween. So yes, everyone. Hopefully this kind of wraps up what we have to know. This is not a Halloween following the second movie. It's following the first movie like usual. So instead of like everything from Halloween 2 on happening, it's basically going back to say, all right, look, we've done too much shit here. Let's go back to basics and let's make a real good Halloween film. And they did a fucking fantastic job. It is probably the best Halloween sequel I've ever seen. And I'm praying that next year, Halloween will overthrow Jason. Yep. Hail to Michael Myers, and hail to Halloween. Thank you everyone for watching. If you enjoyed, like and favorite, subscribe if you want more, and maybe I'll talk about more movies in the future. But anyways, people, happy Halloween. And remember, it's the night he came home. Peace out, everyone.